The deal and the trial and the guilty plea are just some of the things that our Shachi Kurl talked to Dave Basi and Bob Virk about today. Shachi has covered the case extensively over the years, and on this, the first day of their conditional sentence, they sat down with her. There were questions they would not answer for legal reasons, but they are reflecting on the events of the past 7 years. Here's more of their exchange with Shachi.
First of all, I just want to ask you how you're both doing today.
I went to bed and I woke up this morning and it was almost a bit numbing and a bit relief.
Did you do what you have admitted to doing? Are you guilty of the crimes that you have admitted to?
Shachi, I sleep with a clear conscience at night. And I get up in the morning with a clear conscience.
Some people will be reading papers and watching TV last night and they would have been shocked and surprised. How do you help them understand and explain why you pleaded guilty after so many years of saying that you'd done nothing wrong?
Shachi, if someone had told me there would be 7 years from the day this whole nightmare began to get to court, I would never have believed that. It just hit me that there is no end in sight, there is no light at the end of the tunnel.
Bitter pill to swallow?
It was a very bitter pill to swallow. A very bitter pill to swallow.
This will stay with us for the rest of our lives, you know, and dealing with the court process, the justice system, it'll stay with us the rest of our lives.
What do you take away from it? Are you bitter? Are you angry?
I'm trying not to be, but the justice system is the justice system, and you can't. It's hard to be on the outside and understand it. When you're on the inside, you understand it.
One of the things that was often put out there from the special prosecutor's office or from the government side was that it was the defense that was drawing out the case.
We didn't appeal any decisions. Mr. Berardino, the special prosecutor, brought this case forward in provincial court, brought this case forward then to Supreme Court, appealed decisions to the Appeal Court of BC, then he appealed decisions all the way to the Supreme Court of Canada. Those delays are why it took 7 years. Mr. Berardino appealed decisions that affected the length of the trial.
There have been so many questions and comments in the papers and on TV and on radio today about the deal, about the plea that was reached, about the dispensation of your legal bills. Is there anything you can tell me about that, either of you?
I can't comment. I refer you to the Office of the Attorney General.
Yeah, that's correct. I can't comment. I must refer you to the Office of the Attorney General.
You had sort of talked about that comment, that clip, that infamous clip that was given by the RCMP the day after the raid, and they talked about the cancer of organized crime. Ultimately, though, there was no links to organized crime or to drugs to you, was there?
It was just an absolutely outrageous statement.
For all those years, every time the screaming headlines, Basi Virk, Basi Virk, Basi Virk, all people knew about you was your names, and on TV you were just like these guys walking up and down a hallway, back and forth. How does it feel to know that that is, to an extent, at least in this time of your life, how your lives and how your personalities have been defined?
We live in our community, Shachi. We take our kids to school, we pick them up, we go to their activities, we volunteer in their schools, we have wonderful neighbors. Do you know how difficult it is to walk into your son's preschool, holding his hand and taking him to the class and letting him know, and everyone else around you know, that we're okay, and people coming up to you and telling you, we're behind you. Our community knows who we are. Our community knows what we're about, and our community has always stood beside us.
Shachi Kurl reporting.